Alrighty, guys, I went 4-1 in my 5 personal sports bets on my website yesterday. And the only way you could have accessed each and every one of those winners is to join my full access, all-inclusive board member package on that site. It also improves my record to 20-3 in my last 23 board member tier package bets themselves. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my NBA free pick video here today for Tuesday, March 21st, 2023. Happy Tuesday to you. Hopefully you got off to a really good start to your week. Of course, my name is Brock Page, and I've been giving away free sports picks right here on YouTube since 2016. I also sell my personal sports bets on patreon.com/BrockPage. Once again, guys, we're coming off another winning 4-1 day in all of my personal selections yesterday. It's also going to improve our record to 20-3 in my last 23 board member tier package bets on that site as well. And if you want to see a full video breakdown of every single one of my personal bets here today, there's only one way to do that, and that's to join my full access, all-inclusive board member package on my website. And once again, that is patreon.com/BrockPage. Not only do board members get access to my board member podcast every single day, you're also going to get access to every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day until April 1st. I currently have over 560 members who are signed up and active on my website right now. And of course, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my website. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side, and total. And what I do on patreon.com/BrockPage is I actually share with you which one of these free plays on these videos that I'm actually betting on personally. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to take a look at the Wizards at the Magic, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Orlando's the 1-point favorite, totals 225.5. And as bad as Washington's been recently, well, Orlando's been equally as bad. They lost 7 out of their last 10, and they have a losing record in the Amway Center. When it comes to offensive production, Orlando is currently in the bottom 5 in offensive points per contest. Now, they're facing a Washington team who's one of the tougher defensive road teams in the East. They're currently in the top 5 in defensive points per game. They're also grabbing more defensive boards on the road than most clubs in the NBA. Kristaps Porzingis grabs 8.5 rebounds a game. He also ranks second on the team in points. Meanwhile, Bradley Beal's averaging a team-high 23 points per contest. Now, injury-wise, Kyle Kuzma is sitting out with an ankle. Meanwhile, for the Magic, Jalen Suggs, he's inactive. When it comes to the total, Orlando saw their last 4 straight at home get over the total. They're also 7-3 to the over in their last 10 at any location. Give me Washington +1 over 225.5. Next game, Cavs Nets, 7:30 p.m. East. Cleveland's -3, totals 219. The Cavs did get the W in 7 out of their last 10. They're arguably the best defensive rebounding team in the, not rebounding, just they're arguably the best defensive team in the game right now. They're certainly the toughest to score against. Cleveland's allowing only 106 points a game, which is the best in the association right now. And Donovan Mitchell, he leads the team in steals and grabs nearly 5 rebounds a game. He's currently the team's leading scorer on offense. Meanwhile, Darius Garland scores over 21.5 points a game himself, and he shoots nearly 42% from three-land. Now, they're facing a Nets team who's on a 3-game skid, and they're arguably the worst rebounding team in the East. These guys grab fewer offensive boards than any other team in basketball except for one. They're also in the bottom 5 in defensive boards at home. Now, total-wise, the Cavs saw unders recently against the likes of the Wizards, Pistons, and Raptors. Meanwhile, Brooklyn saw unders in 7 out of their last 9. When it comes to the injury list, Dorian Finney-Smith is questionable. Clown Simmons is still out. Meanwhile, for the Cavaliers, Jared Allen's a little banged up. Keep an eye on him. Give me Cleveland -3, under 219. Next game, Pistons-Hawks, 7:30 Eastern start time. Atlanta's -14.5, totals 236. And as bad as Detroit is, I'm not so sure Atlanta's been playing good enough basketball to cover here. They failed to cover in 5 out of their last 8. And they do have a losing record against the point spread at home. Now, the Hawks' biggest issue at home has been their defensive play. These guys are in the bottom 10 in home defensive boards. They allow nearly 117 points a night in the State Farm Arena. Now, they're facing a Detroit squad who covered recently against the likes of the Pacers, Wizards, and Bulls. And in their last 10 meetings with Atlanta, the Pistons covered the point spread in 60% of those matchups. Jaden Ivey averages over 15 points a game and just about 5 assists per contest. Meanwhile, Marvin Bagley, he scores just about a dozen points a game. When it comes to the injury list, Burks, Bogey, Diallo, Stewart, and Duren, they are all out. Meanwhile, Livers and Hampton are questionable. Meanwhile, for Atlanta on the other side, DeJounte Murray's questionable. Jalen Johnson's still out. When it comes to the number, Atlanta saw overs in 3 out of their last 5 at home. They're also 7-3 the over in their last 10 meetings with Detroit. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. The Pistons, they saw overs recently against the likes of Indy, Washington, and Chicago. Give me Detroit plus 14.5 over 236. Next game, Spurs, Pelicans, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. New Orleans is minus 13, totals 232.5. The Pels are 22-13 in the Smoothie King Center. They're actually the toughest team in the league to shoot three-pointers against. The Pels have the lowest defensive three-point percentage in the NBA. Brandon Ingram, he has a handful of steals on the season defensively, and he also averages 4.5 defensive boards a night. Now, Ingram's also the leading scorer on the active roster right now. Meanwhile, C.J. McCollum, he scores 21 points a game himself. He's also drilling just about 40% of his shots from three-land. Now, they're facing a Spurs team on the other side who's given themselves like zero chance to win on the road. Out of 33 contests in their travels this year, San Antonio got the W only 6 times. When it comes to defensive play, the Spurs are currently dead last in guarding the three-pointer on the road. Their opponents are making nearly 42% of their three-pointers against them in their travels. When it comes to the injury report, looks like McDermott, Graham, and Jones, they are all questionable. Sochan, Vassell, Birch, and Collins, they are all out. When it comes to the total, 8 out of New Orleans' last 10 ball games stayed under. And in addition to that, they've also held San Antonio to just 109 points a game in their last 10 head-to-head meetings. So once again, if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Now, the Spurs saw 7 out of those very 10 games against New Orleans stay under the total. Give me the Pelicans minus 13 under 232.5. Next contest, it is going to be Celtics at the Kings, 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Boston's minus 4, totals 239. And even though the Kings score a bazillion points at home, they're going up against a Boston team who plays some pretty tough defense. The Celtics are in the top 5 in the NBA in defending the field goal on the road. They're also holding their opponents to fewer points per game on the road than most clubs in the East. Now, Jason Tatum, he has a bunch of steals on the defensive end of the court, and he also averages 8 defensive boards per contest. And of course, Tatum's currently the team leader in points on the offensive side of things. Now, Jaylen Brown, he's also scoring over 26.5 points a game himself. He's making nearly 50% of his attempts from the field. Now, they're facing a Sacramento team who plays little to no defense at home. These guys are actually a league worst in defensive field goal percentage on their own court. They're also allowing more points per contest in their own arena than any other team in the NBA except for one. I think probably that is where Sacramento is going to get hurt in the postseason. They're just going to give up too many points. Now, injury-wise, Kevin Huerter is questionable with a leg. Meanwhile, for the Celtics, they're mostly healthy except for Peyton Pritchard. When it comes to the scoring, Boston went 60% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, Sacramento is 23-12 to the over in the Golden One Center. Give me Boston minus 4 over 239. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. It is going to be Thunder at the Clippers, 10:30 Eastern start time. The LA Clippers are minus 7, totals 237.5. And even though the Clippers are playing some good basketball recently, they're still having issues on offense at home. The Clips are currently in the bottom 5 in home scoring. They also have one of the lower offensive field goal percentages in the Western Conference. Now, they're facing a Thunder team who plays some tough perimeter defense. When it comes to offensive production, they're in the top 3 in offensive points per game. And of course, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he averages a team-high 31 points a game, along with 5.5 assists. Meanwhile, Josh Giddey, he ranks second on the team in scoring and also averages nearly 8 rebounds a night. And when it comes to the injury report, Norm Powell and Brandon Boston are still out for the Clippers. When it comes to the number, LA's 26-9 to the under in the Crypto Center. They also saw 6 out of their last 10 meetings with OKC stay under the total. Give me Oklahoma City +7, under 237.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Give me the Washington Wizards +1, over 225.5. Cleveland Cavaliers -3, under 219. I'm 20-3 in my last 23 board member tier package bets on my website. And if you want to see a video breakdown of every single one of my personal plays here today, games that I personally have my own action on, the only way to do that is to sign up for my full access, all-inclusive board member package on patreon.com/BrockPage. Give me Detroit +14.5, over 236. New Orleans Pelicans -13, under 232.5. Boston Celtics -4, over 239. For my next and final pick for the video, give me OKC +7, under 237.5.